After you've tried it in the mouth and you make sure all your contacts are correct, you're now going to go back to the lab to polish. I like to use a electric handpiece, much more torque, so you're going to get a much better shine on it. And it's really just 2 or 3 steps. This is Axis medium rubber. This is Axis high shine or fine. I have a couple of sintered diamonds that if I wanted to enhance the anatomy, I can do that with those. And then we have just a Robinson bristle brush and Diashine. And Diashine is a polishing paste, again by Axis, that is hard because it's set in a wax. So I want to demonstrate this now. I'm going to use the sintered diamond to remove the sprue. It's going to be my first thing I want to do is remove the sprue. And I like to use a sintered diamond because it removes it fairly quickly and leaves the surface fairly smooth. The reason why I use the inverted cone, it makes it easier for me to get close to the margin without touching it. I'm now going to go to the medium blue wheel. And again, we're going to turn this on, and I'm going to polish. You notice I'm holding my thumb to protect the margin. I'm not going to polish towards the margin in this direction. I'm going to polish in the long axis, parallel to the long axis of the tooth. So as I polish, I'm going to stay away from the margin. I'm actually not going to polish the margin at all with these wheels. If you polish the margin, you run the risk of creating a step. And if you can tell, I'm putting very firm pressure and pretty slow speed. You also want to be cautious of your contacts. If you tried this in and the contacts were absolutely perfect, you're not going to want to run any kind of rubber wheel over the mesial or distal contact. So I'm not going to touch anything on this contact at all. And if you notice on this, all I'm really trying to do is remove the burr scratches from the milling chamber. I can again just run slightly into some of the anatomy that Lee Culp designed. I'm not going to be able to polish the internal aspect of this crown. Okay, I'm going to switch now to the fine wheel, and I'm going to start by doing the same things. I'm going to run down the little facial buccal grooves just a tiny bit. Then I'm going to run in parallel to the long axis of the tooth. And I'm going firm pressure and low speed. I'm not going to polish the mesial contact. I'm going to polish the distal. It was slightly tight. Then we're going to polish the facial or the lingual. And I'm still not getting close to the margin at all. I'll run just slightly into the grooves. Then I'm going to turn the speed up. And I'm going to use very high speed, but light pressure. And you should be able to see that the shine is really starting to come up on this now. And again, I'm staying away from the margins. Not going to polish the mesial contact. So the key to this is, again, speed and pressure. Slow speed, firm pressure. Then very light speed, or very fast speed and very light pressure. And you should be able to see now, if I rotate this a little bit into the light, it has a really nice shine to it. I can see slight scratches still from where the sprue was, so I'm going to go remove those. After we're finished with the fine rubber wheel, I'm now going to change, and this is a Robinson Stiff bristle brush, and I'm going to slow the handpiece down again, and we're going to put this into this material, and hopefully you'll be able to see as I do it, it melts, and it actually melts into the brush. I don't know if you can see how that melts. Then I transfer that to my tooth. I try to do it while it's still warm. I don't worry about the bristle brush tossing off any of the bristles. Once I have it transferred, you can see on the occlusal surface, I'm now going to work this into all the grooves. And again, it's the exact same steps. I'm going with firm pressure. You can hear how it slows this down. And low speed. Then going to do all my buccals, occlusal, lingual, and I'm going all the way to the margin with this. This is how I'm going to put the shine on the margin. And also, remember, we didn't do anything to the mesial contact. So I'm going to polish the mesial contact with this, because this will not remove porcelain. Once I have where it looks like it's starting to get a really pretty good sheen to it, I'm going to turn this up again. I'm not going to take any more of the material, and I'm going to use that as just a polish buffer. And again, you can see that I'm using light pressure now with very fast wheel. I hope you'll be able to see the shine that has come up with this. And I'll go over the occlusal one last time. And this is how you get into all the occlusal anatomy. At this point, we're finished. Now because it's set in wax, I wiped it with a towel just to make sure I've got all the wax off. And as you can see, it's developed a tremendous shine. These should look like they've been glazed. And this will take probably 4 minutes of your time with the 3 tools that I used. Very simple, but if you don't do it outside the mouth, you will never get this kind of shine. You cannot do this doing it intraorally. It's going to end up being way too hot for the patient. So that's our final product.